Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
Now, here's Loveline with Dr. Drew
and Adam Carolla. Hey, it's Sunday night, which is sort of a Monday night practically for us since we only go to Thursday. I am Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew, who's a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. The phone number is 1-800-LOVE-191. That number again, 1-800-568-3191. Faxes, 310-854-4455. Drew is pointing at the computer monitor like a chimpanzee, so here we go. Dave, you're on Loveline. First caller.
Hey, Adam.
Hey.
Hey, philosopher warrior.
Hey.
And mortified, boardified, and certified Dr. Drew.
This guy's been listening for a while.
This guy knows the show better than we do.
Hey, Dave, what's up?
And I wish Ricky Brackenman was still there.
Well, we miss him.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Drew.
Dave.
I'm a recovering addict.
Great.
Heroin and cocaine. I was doing Belushi balls for many years. I just got out of prison Friday at CRC, California Rehabilitation Center.
How did you get sober?
He just got out of. He was in prison.
Well, that's
I went to jail and I got sober.
You mean you became abstinent? Did you actually get into a program while you were in jail?
Yeah. Well, CRC, they have a what they call a SAP program.
You got involved with that?
And I was, you have to get out.
How long were you in?
I've been locked up for 15 months.
Did you kill anyone with a sharpened spoon or anything?
No, I stole a car.
In prison?
No. Well,
okay.
I was.
No, you got thrown in for drugs, though, right?
No, he stole the car to buy drugs.
Yeah.
Oh.
I stole a car to get a stereo to buy.
Hold on just 1 second, Dave, while I go on my legalized drugs diatribe for just 1 second. This is what I'm talking about. People go, when he talked about legalization of drugs, they go, oh, could you imagine the crime? We're getting all the crime given to us now because the drugs are so expensive that people have to steal cars. These are desperate acts. You were desperate, weren't you, Dave?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, but these kinds of crimes, I suspect, will kind of continue because people are still going to have destruction of their life from the drug use, and they're not going to have any way of getting money, and they'll do anything to get money to buy their drugs.
Yeah, but when heroin's a nickel for
the
like a sack of it.
The government's going to control it. Maybe even more expensive. Who knows? I mean, they would be in control of the distribution of those drugs when the time comes, if the time comes.
Hey,
but the kind of crime we want to see go away is the trafficking crimes and the whole underworld.
What? I don't care about the underworld. I care about my stereo.
All right.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
You should care about your stereo. And you know what? If they legalized drugs, they would take half the population out of prison. More than half.
That's right.
And then you put all that money that they're putting into prisons, you put that into programs because people are going to start getting burned out. And they're going to say, hey, I got to get my life straightened up. This stuff's legal, but I'm screwed up, so I've got to get into a program. And if they do that, there's not going to be a big business for prisons.
Yes, the damn Republicans.
Wait a minute.
Yes, let's repeal the assault rifle ban. That is their big plan. All the Republicans that are running want to repeal the assault rifle ban, but you can't grow a stinking pot plant in your own backyard? What the hell is that? What are these idiots thinking about? You got rights. You got constitutional rights. If a man wants to have an Uzi, he should be able to have an Uzi. What about if a guy wants to pick up a couple of hookers? Shouldn't he be able to pick up a couple of hookers? What about my constitutional penis right? Am I right, Dave?
Yeah. Hey, Adam, I got out Friday at a CRC.
Did you get a suit and $50?
I got $200, $50 cash, $150 check.
Please don't tell me you used it on drugs.
No.
No, he bought lotto tickets.
I actually thought that my mom was going to disown me.
Yeah.
I'm 33 years old and I have nothing out here, but I came out here with that money.
Good.
And my mom welcomed me in her arms.
God bless her, Dave, and you're never too old to start anew.
Hey, and you know what she said? She said if I use or even think about using ever again, and if I put her through anything that I put her through when I was a kid, she's had it. This is it.
Dave, the
Tell her
only,
it's her fault you came out so crappy.
No.
Nature or nurture, it's her fault. Either one,
Hey,
she could pick.
Dave, the only way you can assure or at least decrease the probability of something bad happening is go to meetings every day, get a sponsor, work the steps. If you don't do that, Dave, if you don't do those things, you're going to relapse.
Hey, Dr. Drew,
That's a mathematical fact.
You're absolutely right, Dr. Drew.
Yeah, Dave.
And I've been listening to you, and you're about the best advice person that I've ever listened to in my whole life, and you know what the hell you're talking about. And don't let Adam fool you.
All right. He's trying to fool me all the time.
Don't worry, David. Take at least 30 Adams to fool Drew.
Stacked on top of each other. Hey, listen. As long as you brought up this legalization of drug thing, I am basically in favor of legalization because I think the social cost is so humongous that it's almost anything is worth getting this thing out of the way. However, you got to understand that the principle of how people get better is by creating so much structure around them that they can't get the drugs.
Right.
So in a way, by illegalizing things, you're helping people create a structure so they don't access these substances.
Right. You're making it illicit,
Yeah, I
and you're
understand.
challenging the teenagers to go out and go against the system.
You're
That's
correct
what you're
that
doing.
addicts tend to pursue thrill, and so the thrill kind of adds a draw to it. However, avoiding or eliminating the structure is basically a stance in contradistinction to what recovery and to what people do to help people who are.
Well, I say eliminate the rules and have people be more responsible for their own crap, and let's try to instill that.
you, thank you.
That'll never happen.
Yeah.
Larry,
Yeah.
you're on Loveline.
Hi, Drew.
Larry.
I got a problem. Like, I can't smell or taste anything.
Do you have a sinus infection?
No, I just got over a cold about a week ago.
Are you on any medication?
Well, yes, but I haven't taken them since maybe about Wednesday night. I've been taking, like, Tylenol PM. Tylenol, that's about it.
That's it.
Tylenol.
Well, if you really get a sinus infection, it takes away your sense of smell. It will.
But how about taste?
More than half. I think it's something like 80% of your taste is actually smell.
It's kind of like people that can't hear, can't speak. I mean, it's one of those things. No, it works in conjuncture, right?
Yeah, yes.
You're deaf, you're dumb.
Right.
Right. You can't smell, you can't taste.
It actually is the fact that the smell is a majority component of what makes up taste. And if you don't smell, if your sinus is screwed up, there's something called Kalman syndrome where you get these autoimmune things, but I doubt you have that. I mean, you had a cold, you have a sinus infection, you can't taste anything. Go see a doctor, use hot compresses in your sinuses in the meantime.
But you see, I can't. I breathe perfectly. Like I breathe normal and everything.
Does he not sound like his sinuses are congested? Like
You do. You sound worse than I do, Larry.
which is almost unbearable for me. I have to take the headphones off.
It's like nails on the chalkboard times 2 over here, Larry.
Nah.
All right.
Nah.
Just check it out. There are other strange immunological things that can happen, but I doubt that's what you have.
I think what Larry should do is just chow down on all those foods he hates so much but are so good for him at this point. Kate.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
I've got a little problem.
Mm-hmm.
I cringe when specific people touch me. I mean, just like regular physical contact.
No. Drew and his beeper.
Sorry.
Drew, you can't put that thing to vibrate?
I can. I always forget to, though.
Total pro. Yeah?
Yeah.
You cringe when certain people touch you.
I do, and I don't understand why.
What sex are these certain people?
Male. They are male.
Is it the same people over and over?
Yeah, it's specific.
Longshoremen?
Excuse me?
Who is it? Doctors?
No, friends. Friends.
Particular friends.
Right.
Have they ever done anything to you in the past?
No. It's really strange. And I don't understand it. I mean, they've remarked upon it, you know.
I mean, so you have like you cower, or you pull away.
Yeah, it's. I just sort of cringe and I just kind of straighten up when specific people touch me.
All right, so here's what Drew and I are thinking. We're thinking. I'm going to tell you what Drew's thinking. Drew's thinking that something happened to you. Some male, Uncle Lou, got to you while you're in your crib, and you blocked it. You put it to some recess.
Or maybe she knows.
Or maybe you know.
No, I mean, I had a really happy childhood, and I mean...
Except for the whole molestation thing, right?
No, I was not molested as a child.
Is this something that... Are all men that touch you doing this to you?
No. I mean, I have a boyfriend, and he's great, and,
Say these particular... Maybe it's just something you're picking up about these guys. Maybe they actually have some intent that you're picking up on that just grosses you out.
Maybe.
How's that for a medical term, huh?
I can't think of. I mean, I can't think of anything specific about. I mean, they're friends. They're good friends of mine.
Yeah, but something about them sort of gets under your skin. It sounds like.
But it's not men across the board, is what we're saying.
no.
It's some men.
And by the way, I wasn't thinking that about her.
You certainly were, Drew. Come on.
Now that it's so obvious that it hadn't happened, I can tell you for sure I wasn't thinking that. So I can't say that it would necessarily be anything you have to worry about. I mean, you've got a healthy relationship with your boyfriend. You have friends. Just these few people kind of weird you out. Maybe someday you'll figure out what it is that feels uncomfortable about them.
I don't. It's just really, really weird. It's more than one person too. I mean, I have friends that I see every day, and it's like two or three people.
But it's only male friends.
Right.
And you don't think on some level they're coming on to you in a sexual way or something like that?
I don't think so.
You just cringe.
Right.
It may be something subliminal that she just isn't aware of yet. But stay away from them. You don't have to put up with that. Things that make you uncomfortable, you don't have to be around. Right?
Well, I don't know, unless you're getting paid. That's the whole thing in life, Drew. If someone pays you, then you can be uncomfortable for a while.
Is that a comment about what you're experiencing
No,
right now?
I love my job, but I mean, most jobs, that's the way it is. Yeah. Whether you're an attorney or a hooker, you don't want to be there. That's the deal. But someone pays you, and if they pay you enough, you'll stay. That's life. That is the wheel of life. I thought I gave another wheel the other day. What call you want to go to, Drew? I'm still thinking maybe she was molested, though. Brooke!
Possible.
Hi. When me and my boyfriend have sex, he comes so much and so hard that it busts. The condom. We use a rubber latex condom and it busts.
Every time?
Not every time, just like maybe 1 out of every 4 times or 2 out of every 4 times that we do.
Have you gotten pregnant?
No.
Well, you're lucky.
Because I'm on the pill and I use both.
Oh, good. Good, okay.
Wow.
That's good.
Wait, you're on the pill and what else?
And we're on the pill and we use condoms too because
that's great.
That's fantastic. Do you use the condoms because of STDs, or do you use it for just another measure of?
As another form.
Wow.
Another protection. Well, it's the probability of you getting pregnant is exceedingly low if you're using the pill properly. Anyway.
Yeah, but why does it?
I'll tell you why. Here's my take on this whole situation, Brooke. Thank you. My condoms are pretty durable little buggers, I would say. And here's what's going on. No, I'll tell you how guys work. He knows you're on the pill. He knows you have about a 98% chance of not getting pregnant. What he's doing is he's doctoring these condoms up beforehand. He's taking like a little X-Acto knife, and he's kind of scoring, as we say in the. Yes, believe me, I know the way the teenage mind works. He's scoring up the end of it, like in the movies. You know, they use those glass bottles when they break it over someone's head. It's that kind of. It's for effect. You see what I'm saying? Now he appears like so much man that you're lucky to have him.
And, Brooke, just in case that's not what's happening.
On the outside chance.
Yeah, here's some other ideas.
Yeah.
One is he may not be storing the condoms properly. Okay, if he keeps them in his glove compartment or these hot environments, pockets.
Where should you keep them?
Cool environment.
Well, I keep them in my drawer.
Okay. And the other thing is he may not be putting it on properly. You got to roll it down first before you put it on to make sure.
Yeah, we do all that, but.
Wait a minute. Wait, you got to roll it? You got to roll it down?
You got to leave a reservoir, sufficient space at the tip.
Yeah, but don't most of them have a reservoir in it?
Even so, you're supposed to roll it down.
Wow. Yeah. All right, more reservoir.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
God bless you. Amy.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
I'm calling because I have a question for you.
Fantastic.
Okay. I was wondering, a few shows back, you guys had a thing on where, guys eat the halls and then they eat the girl out, right?
Sure.
No, we didn't have a thing about that. Somebody
came in with something like that, some college story.
Somebody called about that, unfortunately.
And I heard that it was, supposed to, have a sensation for women or something. I was just wondering if it was true. Or if it, I heard it, burns or something.
I said no, and I said it worried me that they'd actually hurt themselves. And then we had some caller call in and say it was a good thing. Well, I still don't believe that caller. So
wait a minute.
I wouldn't try things like that.
Let me explain to you about the female vagina. Oh,
God, you're going to solve all of life's mysteries tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. It's... As you said, on many occasions, it's the mucous membrane down there, right? It's like an opening. It's a very porous area. Mm-hmm. And as you know, if you take something with a sort of mentholyptus or mentholatum, and that has a deep heating action, if you have that and you rub it on a part of your body, it will be more easily absorbed in
Correct.
certain areas. Meaning,
Yes.
if you put some Bengay on the palm of your hand, no problem.
Correct. The
You
palm-
use that same palm to pleasure yourself, you got problems. Am I right?
Yeah.
This is a very porous part of a woman.
Yes.
So the mentholatum
sensitive
action...
anyway. Sensitive, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, it absorbs,
Yeah.
the mentholatum action, the
Right.
deep heating action,
Right.
could be easily absorbed through that
yes.
area.
Yes.
So I'm thinking it does make a difference.
Oh.
All right?
I was just wondering if it was, true or not, but
Well,
Go ahead, give it a try and call us back.
okay.
All right. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Adam, Drew.
Hey, you're
Sean.
on Loveline.
Hey, I've got a question for Dr. Drew.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, Doc. My wife and I are trying to get pregnant and have a baby,
Right.
and I've been doing it like twice a day for the last 2 weeks now.
Well, now, are you guys timing things and all that sort of stuff?
Well, yeah, she's on, I guess, a
Takes you like 3 or 4 minutes.
Hold on. She's on what?
She's like on a 28-day cycle.
Right.
I guess, and like on the 14th day is the best day to do it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, is there a best day? Is that the day to shoot for? Is that
Well, there are kits you can buy in the pharmacy that help you determine when she's ovulating, and you can
Right,
really
right.
determine the day based on that.
Oh, Dr. Knockup?
I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I've
but,
seen
but,
those.
But I would suggest you use something like that. I mean, there are ways of checking her baseline temperature and sort of, extrapolating when she's ovulating based on that.
Now, you have to wait for the egg to drop, right?
Basically. Well, there's debate about it. There's some new data that shows that it's right then. That's the best time.
New dada?
now, is there
Data.
like a better time of day, morning, night?
Maybe for some people. Is she taking folic acid? That's a big thing these days. My wife ate a bunch of seaweed, sushi, the night before we had the in vitro. And we ended up with triplets, and she's convinced that had something to do with it. So
Maybe it was the smelt eggs.
And interestingly, the folic acid information, the data on that came out just a few months ago.
What do you do with the folic acid?
It seems to be important for developing embryos.
Okay.
You eat it, you take it.
All right, so you have to wait for the egg to drop, right?
Yeah, basically.
Some women can tell when their egg drops.
But if you're really trying to time things, there are kits and things you can buy to time it.
Let me ask producer Ann. Ann, any idea when your egg drops?
No.
You don't hear anything?
No, but some women actually can feel it.
Yeah, when your egg drops.
I don't think my wife can feel it.
Some women can. But
I really
don't.
liken it to the whole Dick Clark, New Year's thing with the
Right.
ball coming
Or
down.
it's like some Green Acres cartoon, with the chickens with the eggs dropping down into chutes or something.
Yeah, that's not the way it works?
No.
All right, so there's no like bong or any sound like a bass drum like when the time's up in Jeopardy when you have to place your question.
The fact is the ovulation can occur all kinds of times. The eggs can stay viable for longer than you expect. I mean, there are time periods that are much more likely than others to get someone pregnant.
Yeah.
And what do you do with the kits that you buy from the store?
We got to get one. Find what's in it. I'll see what's in it.
Oh, you haven't used?
I've never.
Oh, okay. Sean,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Now, is it uncommon for couples to get pregnant on their first time trying?
Is it uncommon? No.
No, it's not. Okay.
No.
I'll tell you the best way to get pregnant.
Okay, tell me how.
Be 16 and don't want to get pregnant.
Go out and bang the 15-year-old neighbor girl. Okay? Make sure her dad has a large gun collection. Make sure that you've thrown your hat into the mayoral race, and you'll for sure knock her up the first time. As a matter of fact, a blowjob would get her pregnant with those types of odds.
No, thank you.
All right, Sean, just a suggestion. Laura,
Yeah.
you're on Loveline.
Okay. I have this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I'm around guys, if I'm, messing with them, it'll be, fine then, but the next morning I get really nauseous.
Messing.
Yeah.
What do you mean messing?
Like kissing and making out and doing more stuff like that, but not, not sleeping together.
What is it that you think is making you nauseated?
I don't know. I don't understand why it's, fine while everything is going on, and then the next morning I feel really nauseous.
Is it that you're feeling bad about what you did?
No, I don't regret it or anything.
Really? Because you probably... I think you do. This isn't a cousin or anything, is it?
No. No, I mean, with different guys, I've, done it, and I have the same feeling. But then, with...
He didn't give you, one of those big curry belches that I gave Drew on Thursday, did he?
No.
I woke up nauseated the next day.
No.
But is it something you're doing, or you're thinking of something that causes you to feel nauseated?
I don't think so. I don't understand where it's coming from, but it's, turning into a big problem.
Because some people get nauseated when they're nervous.
I've had girls that I've made out with call the next day and complain of that reaction.
That's not surprising. But this is Laura's with different guys, though, not just guys like you. And we need to know more. I mean, both of us get the feeling that there's something more going on here than you're able to tell us or willing to tell us. Whether or not it's that you're,
I know what
you're
Drew's
nervous
thinking,
or you're connected with them emotionally, and it's upsetting you, or
Drew
whether you're
wants to know if
regretful.
you were molested.
No, I wasn't.
I'm not necessarily saying that, but I'm just saying that just the intensity of the feelings maybe that's generated upset you the next day. I mean, who knows? I mean, you've got to try to figure out what it is, and try to change the behavior so you're not so uncomfortable. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's a positive thing.
All right, I know what it is.
What?
Radon gas. You're making out in some part of the house that has some kind of radar.
It's not the same
radon.
guy or the same house.
I could work, with like another 10 minutes, I could work that through, too.
But we don't have that.
All right, we'll be back after this. Hi, this is Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. The phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. The fax number, 310-854-4455. And now we're going back to the phones. Mark.
How you doing?
Hey, you're on Loveline. Good.
How's it going?
Good.
I was calling, actually. I got a question for Adam.
Mm-hmm.
The other night, this girl that I've been kind of seeing every now and then, she brought a friend over with her, and we started playing a card game. And the last hand of the game, after everyone was basically unclothed, was the highest card and the lowest card.
Right.
Would have to have sex together.
Right. High blow.
Okay.
What?
So I ended up having sex with her friend.
What? This guy is an asshole. Can I say that?
What's that?
Wait, I didn't say that.
I love that.
They're dropping stuff in that I said in the past out of context. I'm
But he
sorry.
meant, he was thinking it. So, let me get this straight.
Uh-huh.
Because I was distracted waiting for that lovely voice of Drew to come in here and call you an a-hole. You're playing cards.
Yeah.
You have a girl over who you date, but you're not a boyfriend and girlfriend.
Exactly.
Okay. And you have a few drinks, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And you get yourself into a game of strip poker.
Right.
This goes, you can file this under the massage for guys, too.
Right.
Whenever a guy wants to see a girl naked, there's two angles he works. He either works the poker, either goes for the deck of cards, or he goes for the baby oil.
No. Wait a second. She instigated the game.
All right, don't screw with my theory by giving me your bizarre aberration.
All right.
It normally works this way. Okay, so you're playing some cards. Everyone's down to, what are you down to?
I had my boxer shorts on.
Uh-huh. And what are they down to?
Nothing.
And these girls, they're friends.
Yeah.
And where's your girlfriend when this is...
Well, it's not his girlfriend.
Yeah, but his girlfriend is playing the game too, right?
No,
Right. No, it's not his girlfriend. It's just someone he dates.
Right.
They're not real serious, obviously.
But the girlfriend was... that person you date was there also.
Right.
Right.
And she brought her friend.
And where was she when you and the friend got together?
Well, she was there for her when it started, but then she left the room.
Imagine that.
So, all right, so you get down to the point where everyone's naked or pretty close to it, and you go for the high-low card thing.
Right.
With all three of them involved.
Exactly.
All three of you involved.
Exactly.
And the deal is the winner of the high-low thing gets to have sex with you?
No, well, that's basically the way it ended up because the two of them lost, or basically they both won, and they wouldn't do it. So then they said, well, obviously I had to win.
Why are you going through all the details about this?
Well, but first off, I'm living vicariously through Mark. That's number one, and so are a lot of our listeners who are probably considerably younger than I am, and I'm not proud of that. But I'm trying to picture what's going on. This girl who you've been dating says it's okay for you to go ahead and draw from the deck, throw caution to the wind, and let it ride, so to speak, and whoever gets the high card gets to have sex with Mark. So this girl wins. This girl steps aside and watches these two have sex.
That's weird.
It is a little weird.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
And the fact is, my question is that she instigated the whole thing, and it's not a very serious relationship between the two of us.
Yeah, imagine that.
It's not?
Now she's turning it on me as if it were my fault.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that, Drew?
The whole situation is so
If it were a
crazy.
serious relationship, I would have never done it.
The whole thing is so crazy.
Here's my take. Mark, this girl, the girl you were dating, was kind of looking for a reason to get out.
Or to get mad.
Or to get mad and get out, which gets them out. Sometimes when people want to end a relationship...
But it wasn't really a relationship. It was just...
dating.
All right, but
not even that, really.
Well, but that's a form of a relationship. What I'm saying is, all right, we won't call it a relationship, but what we'll call it is an agreement. That you guys you agreed to see other people and go out at the same time and screw each other's friends and play cards and have a good time. Which doesn't sound like too bad of an agreement to me.
No.
She probably wanted, in some recess of her mind, to get out of this thing. Otherwise, she wouldn't have brought up strip poker with her buddy. She wouldn't have agreed to the whole...
Years ago, and she's called me 3 times each day since.
Unless it's just one of those situations where this is someone who's used to being abused, and Mark wasn't, bestowing her with enough crap, and
Mark,
this is a way of really piling it on all at once.
Mark, fess up.
Actually, she was totally sober when this happened.
I know. She said she's used to an abusive relationship.
Okay.
Fess up, Mark. Were you not abusing her enough?
No, I wasn't.
I don't believe him. All right, Mark, so what do you want?
Oh, I was just wondering what I should do as far as...
Get far away from both these people.
Yeah, they're both nutty. The one you went out with initially is nutty for coming over and bringing her friend, and her friend is nutty for being friends with the nutty one.
That's probably that's kind of what I thought.
Get far away.
Shower, call it a week, and don't tell your wife this when you finally do get married. She'll hold it against you for the rest of your frickin' life. Am I right, Drew?
I guess so.
That's the answer I want. Amy.
Hey.
Hey.
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you get your boyfriend for Valentine's Day?
I don't know what.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you guys.
Oh, I thought this was a joke. Soap on a rope if he's over 30. How old a guy is he?
He's like 13, I think.
13.
Oh, 13.
Yeah.
What'd I say, 30?
Huh.
I'm not good at math, but I think that's a good 17 years off. Well, what's the guy into?
Like, he likes sports and everything.
Yeah.
Sports?
What sport?
Basketball.
You give him tickets to a basketball game.
I'll tell you, as a guy, my age, I like to get like cologne and stuff that I can't pick out for myself and I wouldn't buy for myself. I mean, I think women should get guys stuff that they can't get for themselves. Guys know what kind of CDs they want. Guys know what kind of shoes they want or what kind of tools they want, for instance. But guys don't have a clue about certain things. Underwear. Guys don't know what kind of underwear. Although I don't want boxers because the thing hangs open and the barn door hangs open and the horse pokes, Mr. Ed puts his head out, and then I walk around all day doing this weird retraction thing where I'm trying to get it back in because I don't know what it is about. Explain this about anatomy. Why is it when your penis is hanging out of the opening in your boxers, does it feel like you've been covered with molten lava or something? I mean, why is that the most uncomfortable thing in the world? Because I can walk around naked all day and feel fine. It's just when it's through the opening there. You know what it's like? It's like the gag reflex. It's like if someone puts their finger down your mouth, they don't touch anything in your mouth, you still want to vomit. What is that? It's the same with the penis. And if the penis goes down the mouth, then you're in huge trouble. Am I right, Amy?
Yeah. Okay. Well, just tell me this. What would you want, like, when you were that age?
I'd like to feel a breast or something.
No, come on.
Well, she asked me what I would have liked
but for
at that
Valentine's
age.
Day, for God's sake.
Well, what better time?
No, come on.
Do you have an extra breast?
13.
I'm not saying one of hers. Ann, producer Ann.
Yeah.
You're female.
How about, like a CD, what kind of music he likes, or comic books, or trading cards?
He's 13. He's not 4.
Oh, what do you mean? We know plenty of people that are into comics.
What kind of hobbies he's into or interested in?
He likes basketball and soccer.
I mean,
football.
Could you get him like a Michael Jordan jersey, like an authentic jersey or something like that?
That's expensive, though. She's 13. How about, I would think that if she, like Ann says, something simple like a CD or video or something, but then create something where they can share an experience together. Like you go to a basketball game together, or go to something where you set aside some time for him. Where you take him out or something.
You take him to like one of those bathhouses or something.
Come on, Amy. Does that seem reasonable?
No.
Amy, how much money do you have to spend?
I have like 35.
All right, send it in, and I'll go out and get him something.
Don't you dare.
$35, she could get the jersey for that.
$100, probably, or $200.
No, she could find it. I'm all right. I say go for the apparel or go for the dual date thing.
Okay, Drew, what do you think?
I thought the date thing was the way to go, but
All right.
also have something simple to give him in addition, something that's you know he'd like some
Right,
CD
and most of all, give him love. I mean, not in a biblical sense.
Not in a physical sense.
No.
Let him feel that you care, that you're connected with him.
Because that's what the holiday's all about. That and a florist making a killing. Oren.
Yep.
Hey, you're on Loveline.
Hey. I just had a little comment about what was going on with that poor guy who's trying to get pregnant over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was wondering if maybe, he mentioned he's, doing it twice a day. I wonder if his sperm count might not be a little low.
That, as I understand, it's not typically a big issue, but it certainly could be, and he needs to really begin to focus on their timing a little bit, and that's what I was advising him to do. If he's limiting that activity to a particular period of time, at least that possibility is sort of diminished.
If he's still listening, you can go ahead and send it into the address we're going to read at the end of the show, and I'll go ahead and tally them up. How many should fit in like a manila envelope? All right, we'll be back after this. Loveline.
Oh, you're a good reggae singer.
No, I just had a sort of Pavlovian flashback. That song is a theme song to Playmates in Paradise.
What?
There's a video I have called Playmates in Paradise. And some of my favorite playmates are like on the beach, doing stuff that playmates. I don't know how they get rid of everyone on the beach when they do these shoots, but somehow they seem to like comb the beach. They get all the bums and fishermen I always run into, and they do these things. They go to these islands and they have them run around naked. That's the song that's playing in the background of one of them. So I started salivating immediately when I heard that. It's interesting how the mind works. Ryan, you're on Loveline.
Yes, I want to say I really enjoy you guys' show. It's really entertaining.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And also, I also had a question. How many different types of sexually transmitted diseases are there?
147.
Well, let's kind of go through them. I'm not sure if I can come up with a
All right,
specific
I'm going to
number.
write them down.
They're in big, broad categories. They're viral sexually...
Sure, the big broads have most of them.
Write them down. Okay, I'm going to write them down. There are viral sexually transmitted diseases, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That would include warts, herpes, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. The viruses are coming to mind right now. There is gonorrhea, syphilis. There's something called LGV, lymphogranuloma venereum. Something called chancroid. I'm leaving somebody out here.
Weren't the what? I'm trying to think of what group the Chancroid brothers were in.
Come on. Let's see. What other? For some reason, I'm blanking on other sexually transmitted diseases. None are coming to mind.
Right now, what's a crab?
Crabs, sure. And
that is.
There's crabs as sexually
That's a
transmitted.
disease.
Well,
I thought it was like a crustade.
There's also molluscum contagiosum, which is sort of a viral thing. It's little funny bumps you can get in the pubic area that people don't really talk very much about, but that happens.
Well, sure. Well, when is going to be an opportune time to bring that up in some conversation? Lumps around your pubic region.
So anyway, we're coming up with about a dozen.
Now, for those ones you mentioned, are they all fairly common as each other? Are they, are some of those really rare or?
Chancroid is mostly in tropical regions.
The scorpions, by the way, was a group the Chancroid brothers were in.
LGV comes around in epidemics in urban centers periodically.
What's LGV?
Lymphogranuloma venereum. There's chlamydia, of course.
What about like AIDS and?
Wait. I'm left about non-gonococcal urethritis. There's trichomonas. There's AIDS, right? There is. My brain is not working well tonight. There's what else?
What about herpes?
Herpes I put down.
We could do an hour on this where Drew scribbled down all different STDs, and I just vamped off the top of my head trying to add to the list.
You said AIDS, and then I came up with non-gonococcal urethritis, which is probably several different bacteria or other organisms, and then trichomonas, which is a parasite that people can get and pass back and forth.
Oh, that's lovely.
I mean,
Honey, I want you to hold my parasite.
Here's the message. Here's the message of
There's
this.
There's a good 20 of these.
Easy.
And we got to tack on 5 for ones you can't remember.
Or that maybe we don't have specifically categorized into diagnostic.
Or that are currently being formed in Haiti and brought over on airplanes as we speak.
That's the very point, is that you have to understand, and I really believe this to be the fact, that our social mores about sexuality are based on a biological reality. In the old days, when we were without a social structure, or maybe we were out, nomadic tribes, people died from having sex. They would get sexually transmitted diseases and died. And for thousands of years, it took thousands of years to figure out what caused syphilis and how to treat it. People got sick and died from these things routinely. The fact that people are discouraged from having sex is largely based on the pregnancy and the biological reality that it's dangerous, particularly towards teenagers and things, because they really don't have the kind of impulse control and judgment that they need to have in order to understand these kind of things can happen to them.
But it's like clash of the biological impulse titans, because on one hand
you're going to die.
You have all these diseases out there, and like we talked about before, you get you have a higher risk of breast cancer if you have multiple partners before this age.
Cervical cancer. Breast cancer if you have abortions.
Breast cancer if you have abortions. Or if you wait if you lose your virginity like after you're 25, which I challenge one person from the Valley who's just haven't been in a coma for 30 years to come forward and find me a 26-year-old virgin. But the point is that also lowers your chances of the cervical cancer. So there are these things, like on one hand, nature wants you to have one partner and be a virgin and all that. But on the other hand, you're 15 and you're producing 10 billion sperms a second.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's the yin and the yang.
But that's why society is coming in and trying to create a circumstance that helps people. It's not good to do that. Society tells you it's not good to do that. Well, guess what? It's not good to do that because you get hurt if you do that.
But when Jocelyn Elder suggests telling kids about masturbation, the political right and those damn Bible thumpers come in and squelch her. Then meanwhile, these kids go nuts because they can't relieve themselves, they don't know what to do, and they rape.
Well, come on.
All right, well, I got to use a little hyperbole there, Drew.
Just a little.
I'm trying to get my point across. John!
Yeah.
You're on Loveline.
How you guys doing?
Good.
All right, so do you know anything about my problem?
No, tell us.
Okay, well, me and my girlfriend, when we have sex, I can have sex with her and be on top or in any other position, and we can have sex for 45 minutes to an hour, and she won't have an orgasm at all. But if she gets on top, within about 10 minutes, she'll have an orgasm. And after she has the first one, I can give them to her over and over again, no problem. But I was wondering why she had to have the first one herself, or how I can stop that or change that.
How you can stop that or change that?
How I can change it so I can give her the first one.
I love man in general. Man, nobody wants to control a woman's orgasm more than a boyfriend or husband. That's what I love about a guy. Guys like to get in and just screw with all the mix, don't they?
Yep.
Listen, John, so what you're saying, and we should get this out because we were talking about this during the break, actually, with Sexy Ann, the producer. A lot of women can't have an orgasm purely through penetration, meaning if the guy's on top and a guy's thumping away, they're not getting any stimulation where it counts.
Yeah.
They have to get on top. They have to rub. They have to stimulate the parts that need the stimulation, and they can only do that if they have something to go up against. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what your girlfriend does. Why she can do it herself and have an orgasm and then sort of lay back and let you finish off the next half dozen of them is a mystery to me. Drew, do you know? Let me tell you about the female orgasm, John. It is steeped in psychology. The male one's easy. Here's all you do. You grab the guy's penis and you move it. I think it's I got to check these numbers, Drew, if I'm wrong, but you move it I think an average of 127 times, and the guy's going to have an orgasm. That's how it works. Real easy. You know what I mean? Yeah. The guy can be watching TV. The guy can be doing a tax form. It doesn't really matter. 127 times on the average, boom, jackpot, right? Women, they have to think about stuff. You know what I mean? A guy could get a hand job at a funeral, and that'd be fine. No problem there. A woman, if something psychological goes on, Ann, you want to jump in here? You're making a puss.
No, go ahead. You're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you. Women need to have things be right, and it's more in the head than it is in the crotch.
I think why he's able to continue after she has the first one is maybe because she's feeling so relaxed from the first one and kind of, euphoric that she's so relaxed that he's able to bring her to the second and third one.
All right, so it's meaning she got over the hump, pardon the pun.
Exactly.
All right, that could be it. Yeah, because if you're looking for a physical reason with women, oftentimes it doesn't apply. That's what I'm saying, John. John, your girlfriend is having multiple orgasms. You want to get in and screw with that?
Not really.
All right, then hang up and go back and have sex. Jeez, guys calling, they want to adjust. They think a woman is like a carburetor on a NASCAR. They want to get in there with their screwdriver and it's a little rich. Oh, I'm going to lean it out just a little bit. They want to dial every woman in. They're all different. Enjoy them. Hopefully you find one that's compatible with you. Occasionally they're going to do something you don't enjoy. Occasionally you're going to do something they don't enjoy. But you work it out. You don't get in there and change them. At least I've tried and it doesn't work. Hey, Mary Ellen.
Hi, Adam. Hi, Dr. Drew.
Hi, you're on Loveline.
Hi, my problem's kind of embarrassing.
Fantastic. That means ratings, baby.
As opposed to what Adam's been talking about for the last 5 minutes.
I've been making a fool of myself for the last 20 minutes.
Okay, well, I'll try to top that.
No, please.
Every month, right before I get my period, I get a yeast infection. It's like clockwork.
Are you sure it's a yeast infection?
Yeah, I went to the gynecologist about it about 6 months ago, and she gave me a prescription for Vagistat to refill it when I have the problem. But it happens almost every single month, and I just don't know what to do to.
First off, I can tell you I brushed my teeth with Vagistat once.
It's not true.
It is true. It
Beautiful.
is. When my
kids were younger, I put Desitin on my toothbrush.
You did? Oh. And my sister had it in her purse or something, and I said, "What'd you do with the tooth?" It's in my purse, and I grabbed whatever was in there in a tube, and I was like,
Ew.
No problem with yeast, though.
All right, but listen, you're medically otherwise well.
Yeah.
And you've been checked, don't have any blood sugar problems, no thyroid problems.
And everything else is
You're
fine.
not on any medications?
No.
Are you on the pill?
No.
Are you having... You have a boyfriend?
No, not right now.
Are you you're not sexually active right
now?
now?
No, not right now.
Well, this is one of the great mysteries as to why women get these things recurrently. Some women do, anyway. And as you know, this great furor arose over the yeast, that yeast is in your gut and yeast is in your vagina and your mouth, and it's going to take over your body and cause chronic fatigue. I mean, there's books out there on this nonsense.
There's also we were talked about this a few days ago, or actually a few weeks ago, that there's a yeast infection that comes from actual yeast, like from bread.
I don't think that's true.
What are you talking about?
I'm serious. This is a true story where they've chronicled some cases of guys who worked at bakeries and worked at pizza parlors and stuff, who then came home and diddled their wife a little bit, and actual yeast from.
It's not the same yeast.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just trying to add what I can add. Drew, I'm sorry.
Well,
what do you want me to leave the room?
No, we'll take it in. Then
under consideration.
Yes,
all
you
right,
can
go
stop
ahead.
now. Okay.
Go ahead.
The screener said something about not wearing underwear.
Keeping things dry. Certainly, yeast do not like a dry environment. But some women just get these things recurrently. You have to just keep treating them.
Is there
and they'll kind of go away after a while, typically.
Well, I mean, the Vagistat takes care of it in a day.
Yeah,
but
so just keep using it.
It's just annoying, and that stuff's really expensive.
Well, you can get Monistat over the counter. Or
Monistat doesn't work.
Can't you buy that in bulk? Can't you go to the Costco or the Price Club and buy a drum of Vagistat?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That'd be a little embarrassing. Some guy with a hand truck wheeling it into the. Okay. All right, we'll be back.
We got to.
We got to do what, Drew?
We got to.
No,
keep
we
our mouth
don't.
shut.
We got to go to the phones real fast. Let me give the phone numbers out. 1-800-LOVE-191. The fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. And this is Lisa. Lisa, you're on Loveline.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, I have this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's this really popular guy, and his name's John.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, so cute, and he's, really funny. And my best friend, Erin, is, she's pretty, and she's, she totally loves him, and she talks to him all the time on the phone.
Lisa, how old are you?
I'm 16.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. Okay. Well then, see, he won't go out with her, you know?
She's not 16.
But
I don't think she's 16. What year were you born?
1980.
Go ahead. All right.
Okay. Well, I think, okay, I like him, but he's always calling me names, you know?
What kind of names?
Well, just like, his bad names.
You mean like hoe and stuff, like a rapper?
Yeah, like faggot and everything.
What?
Wait a minute. Calls you faggot?
Yeah.
Why?
What the hell is that?
Lisa, you know, when you're 13 and 14, like you are, you become obsessed with sort of figures, bigger than life figures, and you'll start to really preoccupy about people with whom you really don't have a relationship.
That's right. I stocked, I should say, the Cassidy brothers for a number of years for that reason.
And it's so really whatever he's doing or directing at you doesn't really matter, because the relationship in your mind is what you're having. You're having a fantasy relationship with this thing you think he is.
What a fool believes.
And I would say just sit tight. And it's common to have these sorts of preoccupations, and things will settle down and make more sense as time goes along. He does not sound like anybody that you should be having a real relationship by any means, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
She didn't dispute the 13 or 14 thing.
She certainly didn't, Drew. You sniff them right on out. And let me tell you, if you have someone calling you faggot before you even meet them, I mean, before you have a relationship, what would his pet name for her be? Like little crap ball? Hey, smelly hoe.
Isn't it a shame? Isn't it amazing how cruel people are to one another when they're young? And the most vulnerable people, and when they are the most vulnerable stage in their life, just get abused by other people.
The cruelest thing is how people respond to it. Somehow they gravitate to the people that are dishing
The
out
abusers.
the abuse. I mean, I was a nice kid in high school. Didn't get any. Got nothing because of it.
Yeah, but you're putting it all in relationship or sexual terms. Even just
I had funky hair.
Even in the schoolyard in fourth grade, people people gang up on one another and they take advantage of people that are the most defenseless.
But if you're nice,
amazing.
you're considered weak.
Yeah,
and then people want to jump on you. Brett,
Hello.
You're on Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yeah. About 2 years ago, I turned 15. I moved out on my own. And I moved in with a girlfriend who was 28.
Wow. Why'd you move out?
Just a lot of family problems. I was put in foster homes, but I moved out. I was living on my own.
What was going on in the home?
Just a bunch of family problems.
Like what?
I had some problems in high school.
What was going on in the home?
Hey, Mr. Evasive, it's a 2-hour show. Let's go.
I shot up my high school with a .357, and my dad didn't want me living there after that, so he put me in a foster home.
All right, you took a .357 Magnum, the world's most powerful handgun. I'm quoting Clint Eastwood now, by the way. You went to your high school and you shot it up?
Yeah.
Was it? Wait a minute. I'm not getting past this for just 1 second. Was it during school hours?
No, it was on a Saturday.
Oh, all right. Well, it's a weekend. What's the big deal?
Brett, but people don't just go do that just because. I mean, there obviously was something else going on in the home that sort of culminated in that action.
Yeah.
What was going on in the home?
Nothing. I got suspended from school.
No, not what you did. What your behaviors were. What was going on with you? What was going on in your home that led you to that point?
I got suspended from school for distribution of over-the-counter drugs, which I didn't do, and she called me a bastard to my face.
Who
the
did?
Principal.
Bastard.
Yeah.
Really? You were just training to be a pharmacist. That's what Drew does all day.
Brett, what was going on in your home?
I just got pissed off and did that when it was my birthday. Got drunk and shot up the high school.
Whose gun was it?
My friend's dad.
Were you ever struck by your parents?
I was beat up by my dad.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, we're getting to it.
Okay,
now, you got to understand, people that leave home for good before the age of 18, almost without exception, have gone through some kind of abuse. Physical, sexual, whatever. You were physically abused, Brett. That's what led you to behave the way you did and act out and ultimately shoot your school up. I mean, I'm not defending what you did. Believe me, you did bad. You didn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
But it's not that it was out of the blue. You were, it's not as though nothing was happening to you emotionally that generated these behaviors. You had a messed up family. If I agree.
Well, he was saying he came from a messed up
Yeah, but he
home.
wasn't saying what happened. And the fact, and people don't understand what a messed up home is. The fact is that he was abused badly. I'm sure badly.
Yeah,
And-
he was an alcoholic
Yeah.
father, so.
And he left home, and then leaving home was probably an okay thing.
And
to
let
do.
me just say this. When Brett then gets popped and is in front of the judge and they're talking about sentencing Brett, I think they ought to pull Pops off of his stupid Barcalounger and his drunken stupor, drag him in and paddle that MFer.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he is the reason Brett
Now,
is
look,
involved.
But Mr. Be responsible for our actions here, Adam.
Yeah.
You can't let people not be responsible for their behaviors.
No, I want the dad to be responsible for ruining Brett.
But Brett still has to be responsible for what he does.
Okay. Paddle both of them.
I understand, but number two,
Put
Dad,
both their butts 2 feet apart and do like that.
Should, if anybody else out there is going through this experience, their dad should be punished roundly by the legal system for if they're doing it right now. Brett's dad should have been put in jail years ago for what he did, what he was doing to Brett. Unfortunately, our system failed you, Brett.
Yeah. Anyways, the reason I'm calling is I've been living on my own since I was 15.
Yeah.
With a girlfriend of mine. She's 31 now.
Yeah.
She has a daughter by me that's 9 months old.
Wow.
But I'm getting ready to start school, so.
Good for you. College?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but none of my family likes me being with her because of her age, and so I just wanted someone that I didn't know their point of view, their opinion of being with an older woman.
Well, I'll let Adam give you the point of view. Let me just say that given what you've been through, you are not likely to choose good, healthy relationships. In general, I would expect you to have relationships that were kind of problems.
Okay.
So the age thing is not so much the issue as, in all likelihood, you're not going to be with the person that's good for you necessarily. I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn for your girlfriend, but you're gonna seek out kind of quasi-abusive, unstable relationships. And so I suspect that's what you're sort of in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so to that extent, I mean, well, first of all, wait a minute. You're 17 now.
Yeah.
So she's breaking the law. What state are you calling from?
I'm calling from California.
Yeah, she's breaking the law in this state. She can't do that. She can't sleep.
All right, but no one cares if a woman does it until a guy's emancipated.
Wait, he's emancipated. You're right.
Look, do you guys share some of the same hobbies? Does she like shooting up schools and stuff?
No, we have nothing in common.
All right, listen.
Be with me for
Listen, Brett, here. All right, first things first. Your parents don't get to say anything anymore about you in your life. What you're doing, who you're taking home, who you're living with, whatever you're doing. You waive that opportunity as a parent when you decide to sit on the sofa and get loaded.
Also, he's emancipated, so they really, truly don't have any right.
Right, but there's a certain respect that people give to their folks. Like Drew's parents stuck around long enough, they gave him a pretty decent shake, and now he listens to him with like one ear when they have something to say. My parents, I like kind of... I turn the TV down a little if they got something to say, and then go ahead and go against them later. But your parents cannot say anything to you.
Yeah.
They screwed you, and now you can do what you want. Now, you're with this 31-year-old. Drew's right. You found her. There's no way she's the right person for you. I don't know what her deal is, why she's with someone who's so young. My guess is she has some issues. But you have a kid between you, and you're going back to college.
Yeah, but just it's hard to go to school, work, and be with her at the same time. And I don't know if I should just not be with her, put everyone else aside, and just do what I need to do.
You need to take care of yourself.
Do what you need to do, but you do have a child here, and you must keep that in mind as a priority. For a 17-year-old that's been through what you've been through, I can't imagine that you're going to be capable of really raising a child and taking care of yourself. You're just learning how to take care of yourself.
But here's what I want to say, Brett. Don't keep the cycle going with your child. You know what I'm saying?
Critical.
I mean, you had a child young, which is the first step in keeping the cycle, not breaking the chain
perpetuating the chain.
Perpetuating the chain of abuse.
And you found an abusive mother for the child.
And you found an abusive older mother. And you're going to want to do impulsively what was done to you at some point to your child. It's sort of a psychological fact, unfortunately. But understand it, get some help with it, and don't do what was done to you to your child.
Oh, hell no.
All right, but take care of yourself.
You understand that?
Take care of yourself, Brett. Your instinct to do that is very solid, okay?
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Thanks a lot.
I hope he'll be fine.
Well, I think it will because he has a certain survival chutzpah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's going to be tough for him for the next few years, but he'll get him. You hear these stories all the time. Whoopi Goldberg was like, I don't know, living on the streets or something.
Was she really?
I don't know.
But
it sounded good though.
People
right?
always, when we ever talk to press and stuff, people are always asking, what was your most memorable call? And I can never remember back more than a few weeks, but Brett would be a memorable call for some time to come.
He would be right up there. David.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, okay. Lately, I've been having well, actually not lately. It's been going on for a while, but I've been seeing this girl for a couple months.
Yeah.
And what happened is I've been having problems rising to the occasion.
Uh-huh.
And it's, there's nothing wrong with me. I mean, it happens.
We'll be the judge of that, David. Go ahead.
Okay. It'll happen, things will happen when I'm watching a movie or even when I get close to a girl. But just at the right time, nothing seems to.
Are you anxious when you're real close with a girl?
Well,
get nervous?
Not nervous, no.
Not nervous.
The penis is a very cruel device. Let me tell you, because the same penis that will give you the most outrageous boner you've ever had wearing sweatpants, walking, during a fire drill between third and fourth period at school will render your penis lifeless when you're nude with a woman. Isn't that horrible?
That's horrible.
That's a very cruel yet funny biological fact of life. Now, you want to know? All right. So
he's anxious.
He's anxious.
Right.
That's what it is.
I suspect. I mean, his age group. I suppose if you took all men, the most common reasons would probably be biological. Things like, vascular disease from smoking, diabetes, these sorts of things, or more hormonal problems, medication. Are you on a medication?
No, I'm not.
All right, but given that you're otherwise healthy, you're not on medication, and you're having this problem the first few times you're having these kinds of intimate encounters, it would be normal. And it's a normal response to anxiety. If you're nervous, even if it's kind of an internal anxiety, it's not an overt nervousness, even if you're just disturbed, anxious, preoccupied, that's an environment that doesn't let sexual functioning go forward. Things don't function normally in those circumstances.
And let me tell you, what your penis and its function is like. And I think I may have used this before. It's a lot like a field goal kicker. You're doing well. You're making everything. You just hit one from 56 yards to win a game. But the next time you go out, you miss a couple. And then you start thinking about it.
You're rattled, that's right.
You're rattled. And then the coach on the other team calls a timeout to see if they can freeze you. I'm not quite sure how that fits in yet. But the point is you think too much, you start changing your approach to the ball, and next thing you know, you think you're shanking it off the back of one of your linemen. Do you know what I'm saying, David?
I know what you mean.
I don't think they know what I mean when I say that. I don't even know what I mean. Francis.
Hi.
You're on Loveline.
Hi.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good.
I need some advice.
Yeah. What's going on?
I'm 23 years old now. I'm married. I have a small daughter and my own place, and everything's right. Well, I have an ex-boyfriend that I broke up with when I was about 16, 17 years old. And it was a really nasty breakup, an abusive relationship, both of us. And he kind of been hanging around my family ever since. And it kind of died out after I had my daughter. I guess he got the picture or something. I don't know.
You mean he was hanging around with the intent of getting back with you?
I don't know if that's what
Oh,
it
boy.
was.
Well, what was he talking to your folks about? Was he talking to them about you?
About me. My husband at the time was my boyfriend. When we had broken up, I started dating my husband, and he went and told my parents that my husband did drugs, drank, which was not true, and he just wanted to cause trouble. I
Okay,
guess.
bad sign.
And my parents believed him, and now they're barely getting a kind of a relationship with my husband to talk to him and have him over, and it's really hard. And now he lives at my parents' house.
Lives there?
Yes, and it's kind of hard. I go over there. I can't even really visit.
Wow.
I don't know. It's just really
What kind of abuse did you guys have going back and forth?
physical, hitting each other, pushing each other. He's really bigger than me. And
But the fact that he has that kind of relationship when he's younger and then is really unable to get past that and get on with his life, it's a bad sign. I mean, has he had other relationships since?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he dated her mom for a while, I think.
That's what
What?
My parents, my mother is more involved. than my father was. She told me I probably deserved it. That
Whoa. Wait a minute. All right, wait. Let's just backtrack about something I said in jest 10 seconds ago. You don't think there's any chance that this guy had anything going with your mom, do you?
I don't think so. My mom.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe? Do you have a dog? What about the dog?
How can you? What do you mean you don't think so?
Well, what it is my mom. Even with my older brothers and sisters, I have an older brother and an older sister. She's never gotten along with. Let's say they dated someone, she really liked them, the girl or the boy, whichever my brother or my sister were dating. She liked them a lot, and if my sister and brother just didn't get along with them, they just broke it off. My mom was like so upset. She would say, "You can't see anybody else." She was just too involved, and to me, what I told her when she told me that, when I broke up with this guy, I had told her, she was telling me, "Oh, how could you do that to him?" Da, 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 da. And I tried to explain to her the situation, how I tried to break it off with him like 6 times. The guy just kept coming back, crying to my parents.
Do you explain to your mom that this guy was abusive?
Yes, I did, and I told her.
And your mom said, "How could you do it?" I mean, could you imagine?
She said she deserved it.
As a parent.
I deserved it.
I mean, you have a girl.
Yeah.
Drew.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And let's say 15 or 18 years from now, she comes to you with a story and say, "This guy raped me, or he hit me, he did this, he did that," and you looked at her and said, give him another chance. Come on.
Yeah, it's unthinkable. Though it's
unthinkable.
It's not uncommon for people to sort of blame the
this
victim.
Guy, he tried to force sex on me, and
I just really, at first, I worry about, there's so many problems here. I mean, there's so different levels here.
This is like Bosnia. We don't even know where to start. We don't know where to drop off the troops.
I mean, at the very bottom line, a guy that's preoccupied with you years after the fact that you had a relationship and you have a family now, and he's still and you still have a sense that he's preoccupied with you, even that you have that sense is just not right at all.
My husband has had numerous fights with him.
Look, it's not that is
your
just,
husband.
It's a very, very sick situation to have that.
And I would be pissed at you if I was your husband for some unknown male reason. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't like to admit it, but I would, for some reason, blame you for ever getting involved with this guy in the first place, or you would on a level. I'd be like, okay, Mr. Mature over there would bring over a fruit basket and try to break bread with this guy. But I'm telling you, I would resent my wife on some level for ever starting a relationship with a psychopath.
And then now your mother and her complete lack of boundaries is probably the core issue here, and why you get involved in an abusive relationship in the first place.
Brown knows this big time.
Well, but your mom has no boundaries.
Do you know hours when they're both home?
Huh?
Do you know hours when they're both home? Do you know their schedules at all?
For who, my parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom,
And this guy?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking torch the house.
No.
I really am. I'm saying cut your losses.
I'm thinking
collect the insurance and start new.
I'm saying sit down with your mom, probably, and your dad, and really lay it out how creepy this is and how disturbed you are by it. And if you can't get them to make appropriate changes, get away from this.
I haven't. Really
on behalf of your child, for crying out loud, Francis.
Okay. I need to take her over there and.
No. But either they make a change, or you've got to have the child in a healthier environment. That's too volatile, too crazy.
Wow. The mom, I don't know what's more perplexing about this whole thing. The guy's a guy, and plenty of guys are bent and idiots, and I can understand the guy.
But stalking her.
But the mom, this is taking a novel approach to stalking. He's stalking from within.
Yeah.
He's infiltrating. That's right. He's moved into the house and then is stalking outward. He actually has to leave her house to stalk her. What kind of restraining order do you get when a guy's living down the hall?
With your parents.
You can't go into the den when she's in the den. That would be the restraining order.
Right. Stay 3 rooms away at all times. Terrible.
Jesus Christ.
You know what, though? There is this, we're in Southern California here, we're broadcasting, there's a beautiful full moon out tonight.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I knew it just, I don't know what it is about full moons, but the hospital's been busier, I've had a lot of real problems out there. And I could, even when it was been raining here, and I could tell it was a full moon coming on.
Oh, Drew. But see, you could have created that in your own mind, and this could be your own weird reality that you created on the way to the studio.
Yes, Dr. Freud.
I doubt it. Danielle.
Hi.
Hey, you're on Loveline.
Hi. I have a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah, Danielle.
I was just wondering, I'm considering probably having a breast reduction, and I was wondering if
You're considering this. You mean this has been something you've been tossing around in your own mind,
I talked about it with my mom.
but you haven't talked to a doctor yet.
Yeah, my pediatrician.
What size are you?
I'm between a D and double D,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like really short.
You have talked to your pediatrician about this?
Yeah.
Are you getting back and neck problems and all that?
No, it's like my back is hurting me.
Yeah.
It's not really my neck that much.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, like, would there be like major side effects? Or
Well, it's an operation.
I was going to give that answer.
Well, it's infection, bleeding, risks of anesthesia, and people are sometimes unhappy with the scars that are left behind. I've heard that complaint a couple of times. But in general, you need to know that most cosmetic surgeons, plastic surgeons, try to have you wait until you're 18. Unless there's some real problem where they expect that it's just not realistic that you would continue on the way you are.
And I'll explain the reason for that. There's no extra money in seeing a 15-year-old as opposed to an 18-year-old, and there's the potential for a lawsuit. So they're no dummies. It's so true. Come on.
You're such a
Not an
cynical-
extra buck in it for them because she's in pain at 15.
But that in fact is the other point, is that the most compelling reason to have breast reduction is because it creates physical problems. You get the deep bra strap grooves, you get the neck problems, the back problem, the hunch, the shoulders round up.
I got the same thing in my underwear.
And it can be very serious. But women are very, very happy when they have that procedure done typically. So
I really hate like having. I would really want to be like an A or something.
You want to be a what?
An A.
Oh no!
You know, I've heard this from
no,
a lot of
baby,
young,
don't go there.
Young women like
No,
Danielle,
that's
where
wrong.
it's so demeaning for guys to come up. They never look them in the eyes. They never give her any attention for who she is. It's all this attention based on her physical attributes, and it must be very, very tough. Very
Well,
tough, 15-year-old.
let me just say this in the boob department, or guys in general. Guys look at women for what their butt looks like. Guys look at what their legs look like. Guys are into the face. Now, for some reason, that's not demeaning, and you're gonna have to put your thinking cap on for this one. But everybody has their strong points. Some people look at a guy who has his own TV show or something, and they want them based on that. Other people see somebody with their own Porsche, and they want them based on that. A lot of guys chase girls because they look like a ramp model. They got a small nose, they got a nice chin, and they got pretty blue eyes. That's kind of okay. That's okay societally. It's okay. She's really beautiful. You love her naturally. Fine. No problem with that. She gets lots of attention. If you got big jugs, and a guy loves big jugs, and he gives a woman extra attention because she has good big jugs, he's a pig. Now, it's an aesthetic thing. It's still aesthetics. No matter what you break it down to, it's aesthetics. Whether it's a small nose or big cans, it's aesthetics.
Stuff
or
like this
nice
makes me
ass.
sick.
What is that? Why is that such a big
Because
deal?
it's just sexual.
Right. Those
You're
are
looking at it as sexual. You're not.
What's the face? It's aesthetics.
No, but your face has personality. Has expression, emotion, and you can like a face for that. But boobs are just boobs.
You're telling me boobs don't have personality?
Sorry, no.
You don't know boobs like I know boobs. Phone numbers here at Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. Faxes, 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. He's a board-certified physician. This is Loveline. We're going back to what made us great. Susie.
Hi, I have a question for Dr. Drew.
Yes, Susie.
Oh, you all do.
Go ahead, Susie.
Hi, I wanted to ask you about something. Whenever I have intercourse with my fiance, not whenever, but this is the second time that I've found kind of paper cuts along the opening of my vagina, like the bottom part of it, and I'm wondering what causes that.
Well, sometimes it's just a mechanical thing. Okay. How long do they last for?
I don't know. Well, I have them right now.
How long, when you typically get them, do they last?
They last for, I guess, about a week or two.
Have you ever had them where they were worse than previous times? Like maybe the first time you got them, were they very severe?
Yeah. The first time I got them, I went to the doctor.
And what did they tell you it was?
They said it was just some cuts, and the doctor suggested that we try different positions.
Does he make his own condoms out of paper mache?
No, he does not.
Susie?
We don't use condoms.
That
'cause I'm on the pill.
That time you first had this outbreak, were you with a new partner at that point?
No, I wasn't. I was with the same guy.
Has that guy had other partners?
No, he hasn't. Could this? I mean, could this be some sort of?
Yeah, I mean, you're giving a great description for herpes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that sucks.
And well, I mean, there's a new treatment for herpes out there now, Famvir. All we had before was Zovirax, and we have Valtrex, Zovirax, Famvir. These things work very well, but you're giving a great description of recurrent genital herpes. So
but your
when you have an outbreak, well,
her doctor didn't think it was.
Yeah, well, some doctors either A, don't have a lot of experience looking at it clinically and making that diagnosis, or B, it's hard to make that diagnosis sometimes. It can look very mild, like nothing specific.
You're saying it's easier over the radio than actually examine the patient.
No, I'm saying she needs to be
Doc?
re-examined, and sometimes they can even culture the virus just to prove it, to see if that's in fact what you've
Okay,
got.
so what sort of test do I need to run to make sure that
Well,
it
really,
is or it is not herpes?
well, the only thing you can really do is culture it when there's an outbreak.
Now, culture it means take
A swab,
take a sample
a
of
viral
it.
culture, yeah.
You take a swab, you
Yeah.
put it in there,
It's
you get
a
a little funk off the actual infected part,
Right.
and then you put that under a microscope.
No. You have to actually culture it. A whole special.
How do you
thing.
culture it?
It's a viral culture, and I've never cultured a virus, but I send it to the lab and let them take care of it. But it's something. It's a very technical procedure.
But is it like, remember when you were a kid, you took a piece of white bread and you put
Yeah,
like a
no.
cup over
Yeah,
it,
that-
and
those
then you
are-
came back a week later and it had mold on
Right,
it?
those are molds, and bacterial cultures are kind of the same way. You take it and rub it on a plate. But viral cultures, I think, are quite different. So I don't know. I don't have experience culturing viruses.
Do you know how much something like that?
I
costs?
don't know. But have a doctor check it out. I mean, they may be able to make a conclusion just based on the appearance, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Good
Doc,
luck.
there's no kind of discount drive-through culture emporium or something like
Somewhere
that?
maybe, I don't know.
Maybe where you can get like some kind of group rate or like...
Hey, we found out from those porno people that there's a place you can get the HIV DNA test done real quickly. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there may be something like that out there, Adam.
We
I don't
test
recommend it.
culture in bulk and pass the savings on to you.
Yeah, right. Don't hold your breath.
Chris.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
Well, the first one's a problem, the second one's a comment.
Yeah.
When I get an erection,
Mm-hmm.
it like bends down.
Mm-hmm. Are you standing on your head?
No.
Okay. You realize I have to ask these questions.
Yeah.
That can be normal, Chris. That's just you.
That's an unhappy penis.
Will it like get better as I get older?
It may just be you. It's just some people go in different directions. That's all there is to it.
Okay.
Different erections?
Directions.
Different erections.
Chris, what's up?
Next.
Okay,
Let's sound like
second
Jesse
thing?
Raphael.
Second thing is like a week ago, you guys were talking about like names for vaginal fluids,
Oh, great.
and I got two of them.
All right, hold on. I'm getting the pen out.
Okay.
All right, I'm poised. Go ahead.
Okay. First one,
Yeah.
nectar of the gods.
All right. Okay.
Second one, clam chowder.
All right. I knew it would go there. That was the beauty. Nectar of the Gods was almost complimentary. I knew that was... I knew he was saving the good fishy one for later. Nectar of the Gods. Clam chowder. Oh, it's a full moon here on Loveline.
Indeed,
Aaron.
indeed.
Hi, I'm having a problem with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's 13 years old, and he has been kind of beating me up since he was maybe 10, probably younger than that.
What do you mean? What, give us an example. I mean,
Big OJ fan?
I don't know. He really scares me. At a family party once, he chased me down, ran me headfirst into our tile floor.
Wow.
I've never had to go to the hospital for anything yet. He tried to drown me once.
Oh my God! Has anything happened to him?
No, not really. My mom said get out of the pool for half an hour.
No, but I mean, has he ever been beaten himself or
Ever been
anything?
beaten himself? No.
Anything ever? Is he normal? I mean, has he got any psychiatric problems? Or?
I really don't know what's wrong with him.
It is fairly normal to try to kill your sister in the teenage years. I gotta say, it is
Yeah.
fairly average
Well,
behavior.
You have a story?
Well, my sister tried to kill me on a number. She threw a crocheting needle at me once. She threw an iron at me once. She took my bullwhip and went after me once.
Adam, just because it happened in your family doesn't mean it's fairly normal.
Zorback just had a bong load and laughed.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Aaron.
That's terrible.
It is terrible. It's not normal. It's not. It is
It
not.
isn't?
No, I'm
really
sorry.
scares
It
me.
isn't.
I mean, today.
I think you ought to really impress upon them how serious you're taking this.
Well, I told them once, and I actually...
What did you say?
The
this was probably about 2 years ago, I explained to them about how he was beating me up and how it scared me, and they sent me out of the room. I was crying by that time. They sent me out of the room.
Just because
My mom and my dad.
Because you upset them.
Probably. I don't know. They supposedly had a discussion after that.
Well, yeah.
My mom was really upset, and my dad just kind of brushed it aside.
Here's what you have to impress on them, I believe. And again, we're talking about getting back to the responsibility of parents. This kid's exhibiting some violent tendencies. And he's young enough where he's not out shooting up the schoolyards like some of our other callers like to do. But the point is he is saying, I'm capable of violence. Right now I'm testing it out on Sis.
Yeah.
But a few years from now, I'm going to test it out on the neighbor kid.
Right.
And then eventually maybe down the street a little further.
Yeah.
And I think it's your parents' responsibility to not sweep these things under the carpet. I mean, they have to understand that this guy could hurt you, and they should do something about it.
I mean, that's one
I'm
of the,
thinking hit him.
But that's one of the primary...
When I have hit him before and pushed him off of me, it makes him more angry. And
You know what?
what scares me.
You know what I would do?
Today, I
This
wouldn't let him borrow my sweatshirt, and so he's been cursing at me all day. He's 13 years old. He curses at my parents.
You know what? This may be... Oh, I may be stepping out of line.
Go ahead. Lobotomy. Say it. The big L.
But I would say if you can't get your parents' attention, call the police.
That'll get their
And when the
attention.
police arrive and the police call social services, and there's a society's coming in saying, hey, this is not acceptable in this family. This young girl is being threatened with her physical well-being. I hope they will catch their attention. My concern is
suggested that I live with my cousin.
my concern is that they'll somehow turn it on her, make her the problem.
Could
And,
you imagine the length of time she would be on hold with that 911 call?
Yeah, I know.
Because you call 911 and it's like, there's a guy who's got a bomb strapped to himself and he's raping my grandmother and he just got done sodomizing me with a table leg and he slit my girlfriend's throat, and they're like, we'll see if we can get a car out on Tuesday. Now, you imagine calling these guys and going, yeah, my brother's roughhousing.
Well, this is Los Angeles, though. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Tustin, Santa Ana.
Tustin.
Oh, even worse. I don't know why I said that, but I'm saying
that would be my advice. And I don't think you have to put up with it. I think moving out is also another way that if you have some other options, living arrangements, take advantage of them.
I say give your parents another shot. Be real earnest with them and really explain to them that it's a problem and that they need to act. And if they don't do that, get on the horn with the feds. Am I right, Drew?
Fine.
Drew, what are you doing?
I'm looking at Mike doing some kind of rain dance out there.
Oh, Mike's giving me the snap. All right, we'll be back in a snap. We is back. We has more love lines. Our phone numbers is 1-800-LOVE-191, 1-800-568-3191. Our fax number. We haven't been getting too many faxes tonight, have we, Drew?
They've not been bringing them in anyway, if we have them.
Damn full moon.
We have any?
310-854-4455. Huh? We okay?
They've been getting them, but they just aren't worthy of being brought into the control room.
Oh, okay. Hey, do a little better job on the faxes, you people. You people giving like the big penis illustrations and stories about threesome stuff. I want something better. I want something that we've never seen before, which is going to be a tall order. Kim?
Hi.
Hey, you're on Loveline.
I called a couple of days ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the boyfriend who came back from who was visiting. He had the time off from the Marines, and he asked me to marry him, and I hadn't really spoken to him in 3 years.
Right.
And y'all told me, don't do it, don't do it.
That's right. Well, this is the guy you dated when you were in high school.
Yeah.
Right.
And you hadn't seen him in about 3 years, and now you guys rekindled your love, and he's in a hurry to get married.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to tell you, I sat down with him, and I told him, I'm not ready right now to get married,
Mm-hmm.
and we can wait a while, and it's no big deal. And he got mad. He started yelling at me. And my mom got mad at me because she's like, he's a good person. How come you're not marrying him? But I just wanted to call and say thank you for screwing my head on straight.
Oh,
bringing me
good.
down out of the clouds because y'all did me a really big favor. And I'm not worried about my family being mad at me.
Good for you. Good.
Good, Kim.
My life.
God bless you.
Isn't it amazing the way parents can think they know what's best?
Well, you're 20?
Yeah.
You're 20 years old, and, I don't really think people should get married before, let's say, 25 or,
30.
for that matter, 35, but the body starts deteriorating, and then no one's going to get married. The point is, here's how guys think. I want at least a good 10 years out of this sexually before I move on to my secretary. So 25 would probably be about the cutoff unless you're like John Derek. And anyway, we're getting off different subject here. But what I'm saying is your mom chastising you for not marrying essentially this stranger, who, by the way, is not the CEO over at Chrysler. This guy's on frickin' leave from the Marines. This guy's a jarhead.
Well, but you're disparaging Marines. Come on.
Well, let me tell you something about Marines.
Oh, come on.
Oh, let me tell you something about the enlisted men. It's not like what it's like in the John Wayne movies. You see these guys? Come on, Drew.
I saw them marching in the Rose Parade. They look pretty impressive.
You know what? They scoured every base in the country to find a handful of these guys who could stay in line and not scratch themselves in front of Bob Eubanks. Believe me, it took years. And these guys aren't even real Marines anymore. They put them in some kind of cybergenic thing where they plug in stuff, and then they keep them on hold just for parades. I've known there's a whole conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
They have a base out in the desert. I don't want to get into that. They're going to do an autopsy on one of them. So
We've had great Marine callers, too.
Well, all right.
Because Pendleton,
and that y'all do a great service.
All right,
we're good,
thank you, Kim.
Thanks for doing us right.
You guys got praised a lot.
We don't.
I figured I'd give it to you.
We rarely get a good follow-up call, and we thank you. And all right, before I have like a battalion out in the parking lot ready to gun me down. No, these guys are great. They do the service and they take care of the country and all that. But they're young guys for the most part. Usually you enlist because you don't have scholarships to Brown and Yale.
Right.
You enlist because you get out of high school and you don't got much else going on. You don't want to go to work in your dad's carpet cleaning business or whatever, so you enlist. Okay? And I think it's commendable.
But one thing, enlisting in the Marines, though, suggests a real
I think it's commendable. I'm glad they're doing it, and I don't have to do it. My hat is off to those who have served and died in the effort and the whole thing, and I get a tear in my eye whenever I see that thing of Mount Suribachi and the Marines raising the flag at Iwo Jima. God bless you. Fantastic. I'm just saying, maybe not the 19-year-old you'd want over at the house marrying the kid. Wait till he gets his $30,000 MacArthur fund or whatever the hell that is and uses it in college. Carol.
Yes.
Yes, you're on Loveline.
Hi. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Me and my boyfriend, we've been having sex. And we really want to stop. Are you there?
We're here.
Okay. And we really want to stop.
Yes.
And we're using birth control and everything.
What are you doing for birth control?
Well, I'm taking the pill,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm using a condom.
Good. See,
Wow.
people are excellent.
But I'm still worried about being pregnant. I know my odds are really low, but I can't handle a child right now.
Right.
So I was wondering, is there a pill or anything that would make him impotent or hold down the hormones?
Well, couldn't you have his penis removed surgically, Drew? I mean, wouldn't that stop his sexual drive or at least render him unable to have sex?
Right. It wouldn't stop the drive, but it would render him useless.
Do you have a crossbow or gun you could shoot him with when he entered the bedroom?
Well, this was his idea to do this.
Wow. What is this guy?
I think that was hyperbole. I think he was, throwing it out as how far he was willing to go on her behalf, never dreaming that she'd actually take the bait.
Yeah, I wonder if you called this guy's hand if he would stick to this story.
No, really, it's his idea. He really wants to do this.
Does this guy have a phone number?
Yeah.
I think we should call him and discuss this because Drew does have certain techniques that he's told me that are effective, but he doesn't feel comfortable telling them to the partner. He doesn't want it to be a third-party type thing. You understand why, of course. So if we could just talk to the lad, Drew would be happy to impart the knowledge. Am I right, Drew?
Whatever you say, Adam.
I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. What call do you want to go to, Drew?
4.
4.
Me?
For Sam.
I'm Sam, yeah. Okay. Well, the first thing that I asked was if you could catch HIV from swallowing sperm.
All right.
Yes, you can.
Theoretically, you
can.
have a vagina then, right, Sam?
Oh, well, of course.
All right, we're just
but
checking.
in my vagina, I use a condom. In my mouth, I don't.
You can theoretically contract AIDS that way.
Well, okay, and the other thing that I heard was that from saliva you can.
That is
And I wanna
also
know, like, what are the chances of French kissing somebody with HIV and catching the virus like that?
Real low.
Slim, but a finite possibility.
Well, wait a minute. The jury is not returned on the whole saliva thing.
Well, the
really.
mouth, I think the reason is, for the most part, that the mouth is a very inhospitable environment for that virus. It doesn't survive well, but if it gets past the mouth into the esophagus, then maybe it can penetrate.
Really? Oh, man. So what, like I give up my hobby or what?
Your hobby?
No, I'm just kidding. Well, because I heard that, like, if you had a cut in your mouth, or that some people, like, brush their teeth before they go out, and then that makes you more susceptible to catch HIV from, like, kissing somebody?
Right,
Well,
because they have
you,
blood.
You
or
could irritate, your gums may bleed or something like that.
If it's you're the one that's bleeding, then you have an open conduit, an open source of exposure. And if it's them that's brushed their teeth and caused some bleeding, they now have blood actually in their mouth that contains the virus.
Sam, let's talk about you for a minute.
All right.
How much dating are you actually doing?
Well, God, lately not as much as I'd like, but kind of a lot.
Lately, since Ford was in office, or
No, maybe like the last month, but
last month? How?
Yeah, but usually before that, I do pretty good.
You do?
Yeah.
You must be quite a looker, Sam.
Oh well, I'm not ugly.
You must be the best-looking girl in the county.
Well, it's not all that.
Well, now how many dates are you going on a week
A week?
or a month?
Well, a week, about 1 or 2, because I'm a single parent, and that's my priority.
Dating.
I mean, you don't think about, like...
The baby's a priority.
What about your kid being a priority?
That's what she said.
Well, she said, I'm a single parent, and that's my priority, and we're talking about dating.
Well, right, I do date, like on Friday nights and Saturday nights, sure.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's going okay. And this is a healthy... She sounds a little obsessed with the AIDS thing. Am I right?
She's anxious.
Well, kind of. I mean, it's the 90s. It's kind of ignorant if you're not educated. And I mean, I thought that I knew enough about the virus to, like, protect myself. I mean, if I have sex, I use a condom,
Well, here's the deal with AIDS, as far as I can tell. As much as people hate this, and as much as they say, oh, AIDS is not a gay thing, it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's not a Haitian thing, it's for everybody. And that's kind of popular rhetoric as far as I'm concerned. Yes, technically anyone can get AIDS. But the reality is if the person did not have a gay experience and as a male, if the person was not an IV drug user and was not dating someone who's an IV drug user, then your chances are essentially nil, aren't they, Drew?
They're very low.
Very, very low. But so the question is check into it a little bit.
Yeah, take every possible precaution.
Right. All right, Sam?
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work. You ever listen to that? Remember that show, Love Connection? The Chuck Woolery?
Right.
And they'd have people on the show. They'd have Larry. He's a general contractor from Newport Beach. He's 32. Larry says he dates 4 or 5 times a week. And it's like, whenever they ask how many times a person dates, it was always like 4 or 5 times a week. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Who the hell dates 4 or 5 times a week? I mean, if you're going out with the same person 4 or 5 times a week, you're no longer dating. You're married to the person. I mean, that's a relationship.
Right.
Are you dating someone different 4 or 5 times a week?
Right.
And if you're dating someone different 4 or 5 times a week, why are you making an ass of yourself on national TV? You're going on a freaking game show to try to drum up a date. I'd say you're doing okay already.
Right.
I mean, the reality is these people, single people, probably date. If you're talking about different people, they may date like 3 or 4 times a month, right?
That's
like
right.
You get a date a month is not too bad if you're single, if you're talking about different people.
Right.
Date 4 or 5 times a week, my ass. We'll be back.
We're back. It's Loveline. The phone number is 1-800-LOVE-191. That's...
screw the phone number.
Well, for whenever you want to call us, and that
All
tomorrow night, 800-568-3191. And if you want to write to us, it's P.O. Box 4345, Hollywood, California, 90078. Email LUV191 on America Online.
And I do read those, and I do try to get back in real short answers with most people. So I do appreciate those. Carol.
Yeah?
Now, we talked to you or spoke with you a few minutes back. You're 16. You're using 1,000 forms of birth control. And you want to know if there's some sort of device and or drug you could strap or force into your boyfriend to help control his penis. because you guys are going at it too much.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Stop me before I screw again. Greg,
Yeah.
you are Carol's horny other.
Well, it's not just me; it's her too.
Right. Sure.
They both have to take the cyanide.
That's right. You're going to be like Hitler and Eva Braun.
Yeah, we're just basically impulsive.
Yeah, you can't stop having sex.
Right.
Now, what about saltpeter, Drew?
Whatever that is.
You don't know that. It's ammonia. What is?
I don't know. But listen, there are certainly medications that will decrease people's sex drive. For instance, Prozac and drugs in that category tend to do that. But nobody's going to prescribe anything like that to you for the reasons you guys are suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's just a matter of this is about self-control. This is about will. This is about creating circumstances where if you really don't want this to be going on, it's not likely to be going on.
I'll tell you what'll do it. Let me give you a quick list here. You guys have a VCR?
Yeah.
All right. You ever hear of a movie called Schindler's List?
Yeah.
All right. Watch Schindler's List. All right? You'll be so disturbed. They have naked people in that movie, but they're being marched off to gas chambers and stuff. Like, after that movie, you're just going to hug and cry and make a pact never to have sex again. By the way, never bring a woman to go see Schindler's List on, like, the first date. Have her say, like, Mother Chugs and Speed or Gone in 60 Seconds or, like, Ski Patrol or some good bad movie like that. All right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, stop having so much sex. And stop thinking, I want to stop having so much sex, because it's going to make you have more sex.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just scared to death of what's out there. You know, I mean, at 16, we don't want kids exactly.
It's amazing that the most responsible young people, the one most able to handle the responsibility of this kind of behavior, are the ones obsessing about it and not doing it. And, you know, it's interesting.
Let me say this too. You use a condom. She is on the pill. The chances, you actually have minus chances. If anyone's going to get pregnant, it's going to be you, Greg. You have no chance of getting pregnant. You both know each other pretty well and have had a limited past. Plus, you're wearing a condom. So you can go at it. I say you go at it, and you'll burn out in like 6 years. And eventually it'll start slowing down.
One of the other reasons that it's sort of this kind of behavior is discouraged in people your age is because it generates a lot of intense feelings. And you guys have already sort of crossed over that line. You've got to deal with those feelings already. And, you know, the way you're going about this, things you're focusing on may sort of beg the issue and miss the point.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the way to decrease sexual drive in a woman, start talking about marriage. Once you guys have agreed to get married, you biologically you'll start closing down already. It'll be once a week, then it'll be once a month, then it'll be on Groundhog's Day.
Guys, we got to go, but just you know, you both seem awfully obsessed about this, and just try to relax a little bit and be reasonable. You're both very thoughtful people. You sound like you're mature for your age. You're going to make good decisions, okay?
Yeah, thanks for your help.
All right,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Okay.
Couldn't they sit home and read aloud out of the Bible to each other each night?
Yes.
Like I could do like Corinthians and you could do Leviticus with one of those rainbow wigs on. I don't know. Yeah. So what if they have sex? These are people you shouldn't care about having sex. I would like to go home and have sex with myself, and that is exactly what I'm going to do.
I'm so pleased that you brought that up.
The word masturbation is so stigmatized. I prefer sex with myself.
Good.
That voice you heard there is Dr. Drew. I would like to thank Lori for doing the phones tonight. I want to thank the beautiful Sherry for doing the phones. I want to thank the lovely, almost bizarrely thin Ann Wilkins, producer, who's just starting to look like Ichabod Crane over there, for Christ's sake. And I would like to thank Mike. We can't use my last name, but we can go ahead and talk about my sack until we're blue in the face. The engineer. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow night.
So that's it then. The opinions expressed on Loveline by Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew, or anyone are not necessarily ours. Be happy. Be happy. Happy, happy, happy. Loveline's producer is Ann Wilkins.